Well, hello once again. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of talk about all of the things that happened back in the month of October. It seems like a long time ago for some of this, but a few interesting things came up during the course of the month. Some of it travel related, so I'll look forward to taking you far, far away to a faraway place. You may enjoy yourself, particularly as the weather gets cold. You may notice I am suited up today. I did not dress specifically to film this video blog, but because we have our Theosophical Investment Trust meeting today, at which members of the Theosophical Investment Trust, the trustees, come from all around the country twice a year to assess the performance of the trust and then to think forward in terms of how to invest, all of that sort of thing. So for those of you who are less financially savvy, some of our greatest experts will tell you that this is a time that is uncertain. So that's the wisdom I am sharing with you. Don't invest in it. So this month, one of the things that happened very early on, actually at the end of last month, when we had our Theosophist, a lady who came to the program happened to be someone who is involved with our local Major League Baseball team, Chicago White Sox. And so as a result of meeting her, the end of last month, September 28th, about 20 of our staff and their family members went out to cheer for the White Sox, who at that point were still in the race for the possible playoffs. I can say that we cheered them on to victory, although that did not do much good in the long run. But just a couple of shots of that evening. So our newfound friend donated about 20 seats for us to come to visit the Sox game. Very good seats, right along the first base line. Stadium was there, everyone was pulling for the White Sox. We even found ourselves involved in a human wave. Many of you are probably aware, particularly if you've ever been here, that a lot of what we do is involved with people who volunteer their services to help people who are attracted to what we're doing and want to figure out ways to try and help to make it happen. That's going on all the time. We had a very interesting volunteer opportunity that came up this last month. Actually, one of our members, Diane Hunter, who is local, very generously. She's quite well known for her Japanese gardens, which she has done in her own home, and it gets quite a lot of visitors and quite a lot of write-ups. But our own grounds, 42 acres, which we have here, are well maintained, but because it is so much and because our staff is stretched so thin, what she did was she brought in a crew of 3 people and herself who pruned trees, who particularly took the area around the entrance to our building and just did a magnificent job. Those of you who are familiar with the place, when you come, you'll notice the difference. One of the things she did, the area around our pump house, they got in and cleared it out, all of this little underbrush, trimmed it, and we have a root cellar that has been there for generations that probably 2 people on campus have seen until now. Well, now that has been revealed. So some shots to show you some of that. So on 4 different days in the month of September and through October, Diane came out with her crew and they took out undergrowth, pruned trees, really revealed the building in ways. Many people actually commented, I didn't know there was a building behind those trees. It was all quite tastefully done, and the beds around the shrubberies, many of them quite old and quite impressive, really revealed a different sort of presence and feeling. On October 18th, I traveled down to Mexico. I had been asked a year ago by Lisette Arroyo, who is the General Secretary, the equivalent to our president. In fact, she's the president of the Mexican section to come and conduct what they call the School of the Wisdom there, which is a gathering of their members from all over the country who get together for a weekend and conduct a School of the Wisdom. So I traveled down there. This year it was held about 3-hour drive outside of Mexico City in a lovely place, a lovely town. It's a city, small city, about 150, maybe 200,000 people, called Cholula, which is in the state of Puebla, central Mexico. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. One of the things that you come away with is a memory of churches, and particularly at this time of the year, leading up to the Day of the Dead ceremonies. A land that is really filled with the beautiful marigold flowers that are growing particularly for that occasion. But about 40 people got together and attended the meeting. It was a very successful meeting. And so just wanted to share some photos with you of that particular place. So the program took place at a beautiful little spot near an archaeological site in Cholula. About 40 members from across Mexico attended, and it was a beautiful site. Right looking out of our front door was the Señora de los Remedios, which was built on top of a pyramid site, ancient pyramid site. The area was surrounded by 4 volcanoes. Popocatépetl was the active one, and it's an area that was known for churches. Everywhere you go, there are churches. This particular one is at Tonantzintla, which is quite well known for its indigenous angels, which is a rarity in the Spanish world. But everywhere there were churches, and seems like every day, every few minutes, there was some celebration of some patron saint that required firing a cannon. The area is quite famous for its tile. Talavera tile, and many of the churches and the interiors and exteriors are decorated in these beautiful tiles, some of them 400, 500 years old. On one of the days where we had a little bit of downtime, the one day, Rafael and his wife, Carmen Teresa, took us on a tour of the nearby San Gabriel Monastery, which was actually built on top of a temple to Quetzalcoatl. And both of them are quite knowledgeable about all things, both the spirituality and the architecture. Each day began with meditation. On one particular day, my wife Lily actually led it. And then there was a conversation that took place in a Círculo de Diálogo, dialogue circle. We had 2 of the members there, both from Switzerland, who have been living in Mexico for decades. Why, you'll have to ask them. And then, of course, the session began with the prayers from the various groups. And particularly moving was a prayer in Nahuatl by Miguel Palacios Moyotl. Nahuatl is the language of the Aztec people. So the sessions were both a mix of talking, interchange, and then we would have breakouts where it was a little bit more social. In fact, it was quite social. Being in Mexico, that's the way it goes. There was simultaneous translation done. Guillermo and Kathy. Guillermo translates for Vice President Al Gore when he's there. So I felt my talk was ennobled by his presence. Many of the people who were there, we just got a chance to talk and to meet in the downtime that we would have between meetings. And of course, a trip to Mexico wouldn't be right without a little bit of Mexican style. One of the features that was most enjoyable is something called tertulia, which happens throughout the Latin American world. Singing, arts, music, poetry. To be honest, they got me up to sing. Karaoke I had never done before, and I'm not bragging about it, but I was singing YMCA. Don't tell anybody. Dancing. Yours truly got up out of his seat for a rousing cumbia. And then, of course, our songbirds, Lisette, Marta, and a lady who just happened to join us. So as the program wound down, on the last day, we got a chance to present the certificates for those who were there. And that required a lot of hugs, a lot of kisses, and just some very, very good sharing between people. It was an occasion that was, some members got new member certificates. Here, Clara Bracho got a certificate, and her son is the youngest member in Mexico. Her son joined, and he's 13 years old. So all in all, it was something that was quite good, quite moving. If they invite me back, I'm on the next plane. And here, of course, with the fabulous Lisette Arroyo, president of the Mexican section. And of course, the last day of October was Halloween. Now, you might think that with all of these grown people, Theosophists, that Halloween wouldn't be necessarily a particularly meaningful dress-up kind of day. If that's what you think, you're wrong. So one of our longtime staff members, sometimes thought of as the Grinch, but Jeff Gresco, suggested that this year, why don't we just come as adults? So his advice was, of course, disregarded. So just to give you a few shots of some of the mind-bending sorts of outfits and costumes that your staff and volunteers here at Olcott embraced. We'll show you some of that now. So we had a selection of beautiful kittens of all ages. We had some witches who attended. We had movie stars, karate kids. We had the whole host of things that you might imagine. We had the 80s girls who made an appearance. Some of you might remember the 80s. And it was something that grouped a whole lot of people in a whole lot of different ways. We had a fisherman who unexpectedly caught a big fish. And we had a meal down in the dining area, what meal would be complete on Halloween without eyeball punch? It was a big hit. So the cast of characters is here for you to see. James scared me a little when he came in the room. We had older, seasoned vampires, and we had a very young vampire. Mark Remick, who the kids call Hagrid, came as Hagrid. And then, of course, we had the kids themselves, who made their appearance and brightened the entire occasion for us all. And the kids gave us a lovely little song.
Oh, Mrs. Witch, oh, Mrs. Witch, tell me how you fly, tell me how you fly. I fly on my broomstick up in the sky. I fly on my broomstick up in the sky. Oh, Mrs. Witch, oh, Mrs. Witch, tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. I see a little jack-o'-lantern looking at me. I see a little jack-o'-lantern looking at me. Oh, Mrs. Witch, oh, Mrs. Witch, tell me what you do. Tell me what you do. I fly on my broomstick and I'll scare you. Boo!
And we had Sharon Dorr, our editor at the Theosophical Publishing House, who is also just a fantastic storyteller. Tells something scary and also meaningful. And a host of other people who had costumes, including me, who came as a corporate gangster, the 1%. But of all of our people, I think the one that was without a doubt the winner, and it was effortless, the one who actually criticized the whole thing in the beginning, our own Jeff Gresco, took away the prize when he came as himself, who bears a striking resemblance to Steve Jobs.